You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America Presents Search for the Next Doll. Otherwise known as Your Welcome America Presents Pussycat Dolls Presents Search for the Next Doll.
Got it. I'm Ben.
I am Fraser.
Fraser Light Razor. You might know us from our regular podcast, Your Welcome America, where in every episode we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
You're welcome. That happens every other week, but every week at the moment we've got this UWA Presents.
Oh yeah, and we're going to be doing episode 4 of the show.
Lovely.
It's going to be a real... Oh, baby! I mean, wow. Well, who would have thought it in doing a podcast about the Pussycat Dolls? I thought we'd never have any current news to cover, but I believe you have a little listener piece of information for us.
Absolutely. Sean McSorley has got in touch via our Instagram, and he sent us a link, and he sent us the curious phrase, "The search continues?" ? What's going on?
So he sent us a clip of, it was Robin and Mikey, I believe, with like a group of girls, basically exactly what we're watching on this show. Just like these girls dressed in, I think, almost the same outfits. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just wearing like underwear and like a crop top, all kind of just doing like a dance rehearsal. And then, you know, that it was a very mysterious clip. So I was like, what's happening? So I did a little bit of digging, and by digging, I've done one very perfunctory Google, and it appears that in 2018, mm-hmm. So this is before Pussycat Dolls got back together, there was a rumor that Robin Anton was putting together a rival group to the Pussycat Dolls, fronted by a little songstress of Let's Do It Again fame, Pia Mia.
It's nice to meet you, let's do it again. I'm on it on a one-night stand. That song is important to me because it involves a Jeep.
I love that song.
A music video that has a Jeep,
yeah.
Super important.
And yeah, this is in 2018, and it's apparently she was creating a group called Pussycat Dolls Next Generation, and she did it without consulting the dolls. But now, obviously, since then, the Pussycat Dolls got back together. I firmly believe that their reunion was tanked by COVID and not by anything else. I mean, do you think it was also tanked by slight lack of interest outside of the non-gays that love the Pussycat Dolls?
No, because I think in the UK, they were just going to do it in the UK.
Right.
And I genuinely think that those dates would have sold and it would have been a great show.
Yeah. So
I have to say, React, a phenomenal song.
Really is.
One of my most played songs of last year.
Yeah.
The lyrics, highly questionable, but the song, no question about it, it's a jam.
So it turns out that obviously the reunion got put on hold. So Robin Anton was obviously like, what have I got going on? And she's re-upped Pussycat Dolls Next Generation. Now, because the Pussycat Dolls are back, are we going to literally have, is it going to be like S Club 7 and S Club Juniors? Are we going to have both groups around at the same time?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
You know, just brand integration and extension.
I'm excited to see how Pia Mia does as the Nicole Scherzinger, just because I really know nothing about her apart from that one song that I love.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's it in the late-breaking Pussycat Dolls news. Who knew we'd have some of that?
I'm excited to see if we have any breaking Pussycat Dolls news next week.
I know.
We'll see.
Okay, should we get on with it?
Yes.
Early mornings, long rehearsal, and 24-hour commitment.
Work it.
If you don't dance like this, you're out of here. Now the competition really begins.
Okay, we'll do a quick recap of what happened last week. There's a lot of footage of people saying, Sisely should have shone. You should be shining.
I mean...
She didn't.
Well, yeah, exactly. Last week was the beginning of the gaslighting of Sisely, and I believe this episode is where we really saw it come to fruition.
Last week they cut off her locks. She may have lost her power.
Yeah.
This week, though, she'll get some new locks.
Yeah, and Jamie was the one to hang up her boa because despite the fact she got her hair dyed blonder, it wasn't enough for them. So she got sent home.
She was the scarecrow one.
She was.
Got it. Cool.
How are you feeling about the names this time around? Do you feel like they're locked in a little bit more?
A
or
little
are you
bit
still
more.
in trouble?
I'm still kind of in trouble. I have got a list here that just says 7 girls remain: Anastasia, Sisely, spelt incorrectly, Chelsea, Melissa R, Melissa S, Mariella, sometimes goes by Mary, and Asia.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But that's me reading a list. There's no memory going on there.
Yeah. So we whoosh into the episode. It's kind of the morning after. We see palm trees, the Chinese theatre, and then we land on the girls' living space, which we believe is in Thai Town, in East Hollywood.
So we're in the loft. Cicely's pissed.
Yeah.
She's not happy.
Yeah.
She's tired, and she's also saying something along the lines of, I've been giving it my all. I don't know what they want. They're not seeing the real me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she said they had a lot to say for someone who's just, standing there singing the song. That's probably the problem if you were just doing that.
Yeah. Also in the loft, jars and jars of sugary sweet treats. You noticed that?
No, I didn't see that.
There's like 2 of them are just hanging out by the kitchen counter, and there's just jars everywhere with like sweets in them. Imagine filming this show. You'd be like, filming every day, come back really tired to that loft in Thai Town, and you'd be like, I haven't eaten. Oh, I'll just have one thing from the jar.
Yeah.
And you'd have
handfuls
and handfuls, and then you would have like a sugar rush, and you wouldn't be able to sleep. Then you'd crash, and then you'd wake up, and no wonder Cicely's pissed.
So you think also the sweets are to blame for Cicely's anger as well?
Yeah.
It's just worth noting in this scene, Cicely's wearing 2 tops. Did you notice that?
2?
Yeah, she's wearing like a vest top and with another top underneath it. But it's like a different, I don't want to say a halter neck, but just like 2 configurations of tops that don't normally get layered together. Very strange.
There is a fashion term for that. Layering.
This is layering I've never seen before, but anyway.
Okay, what else is going on in the loft?
So Mariella and Chelsea are bonding in the kitchen. Mariella's wearing a crop top, like a tied up crop top to make breakfast. Sure. Good for her. Just an unusual breakfast choice, but she's on television, so she's making it work. And Chelsea's kind of talking about, how she's not really been accepted before, and she wasn't really expecting to be accepted by the girls, but Mariella's being nice to her, or Mary, as you astutely noticed she's sometimes called. And then they kind of just drop in on, they talk about whether Asia can handle the pressure of being away from her baby. And at that point, cut to Asia reading the Bible. Did you notice? Did you think, was her Bible pink?
Oh, I hope so.
I think it was pink.
Oh.
A very PCD Bible, which I like.
Beautiful. So Asia, the voiceover for Asia is saying that she's just trying to stay out of all the gossip. She's trying to steer clear of the BS. And in my head, I was thinking, do you know what? That could stand her in good stead if she makes it into PCD. Because she is just like, no, I'm just here to kind of sing and dance and do a job, and I'm steering clear of the drama. Obviously, we want the drama for the TV show, but do the girls want that drama when they're performing Buttons in, I don't know, Istanbul? No.
I just got very in my head trying to think of Bible verses like in the Pussycat Dolls Bible, and I was thinking like, Robin 5:12, Mikey 16, Lil Kim 2, Rod Fair 5:1.
You can imagine that being a challenge, being like, so, being in the Pussycat Dolls, we follow a set of rules. We have our own Bible, the PCD Bible.
And here's one of the Pussycat Dolls to loosely explain how she represents the Bible. Uh-oh.
Okay, in the living room, are we calling it that? There's just a bit of pink card props. Props have been busy. They've printed out onto a pink piece of card and folded it in 2.
Now, I don't want to get too stuck in the weeds about this, but I feel like the paper stock wasn't high enough for it to stand as a placard.
Oh, no.
It felt like we weren't at printer paper level, but we weren't at a thick card. It was somewhere in between. Do you see what I mean? It was like sagging a little bit in the middle.
It just said, play me. And then all the girls are like, oh, there's a play me sign. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, we've
What
introduced a third reference for these Pussycat Doll videos.
It's like, as well as trying to audition and find a member to join the Pussycat Dolls, every episode they're auditioning a new format beat.
Yeah.
Which one will stick?
Yeah, by week 8 we'll have it down.
Yeah.
Then it'll be Pussy Post, as we discussed.
What's the theme for this week?
Okay, well, we've had, really, really clearly defined themes so far. So this week we've got yet another one. Creativity. Ah, yes. the thing I always associate with the Pussycat Dolls, creativity.
I think I read about that in the Pussycat Dolls Bible.
Absolutely. So basically, Nicole and the gals are just telling us about, you've got to have creativity. And Carmit, not Carmit as I was calling her last week, as I discovered this week she's called Carmit. She ends on the line, if you can't be creative, you can't be a Pussycat Doll. Okay.
So next, we're in the dance studio. Robin is wearing a gold pillowcase.
Yeah, I liked this.
Yeah.
It was like it was very casual glam, is how I described that look. Because it was like loose and flowy, like casual, but it was a gold pillowcase. She looked great.
And it was gold. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like metallic.
I feel like there is a running theme in this episode of vaguely Egyptian kind of charms and outfits. So that's the first sighting of it. We have
Okay.
another one coming soon.
Oh. So Carmit.
You think like Kermit the Frog.
Carmit.
Kermit the Frog.
Carmit the Frog. Yeah, creativity. So Carmit, she pops in and these are her exact words. I'm here to talk about like creativity. And she says that creativity for her, it means being funky, edgy, and it's pushing the limits. And to be fair, she is a redhead.
Okay, no joke. My note says, funky and edgy, and I like to push the limits. Red hair. And if we remember last week, Kimberly was also redhead, but she was a more subdued redhead.
Yes.
We're getting into what I was talking about last week with how red hair in the 2000s was a whole different ballgame.
So Carmit, we also hear from Robin that Carmit had 9 years of gymnastics training.
Yeah. And then Kami says that she says, yeah, I was a gymnast for a really long time. And I actually placed 5th at Olympic trials, which is still very impressive. But
Yeah.
she went up on Olympic and dropped trials.
It's very, very in the UK. It's like, oh yeah, I went to Oxford Brookes University.
So at this point, I just want to notice that Carmit is wearing an Egyptian snake waist belt. She's wearing a very thick waist belt, and there's a gold snake kind of hissing its way across it. And that snake truly looks like you would like place it into the wall of a tomb, and it would be like and like hiss off and open a tomb, the snake tomb.
Well, I mean, the song Buttons, the opening of the song Buttons.
Exactly. Imagine hearing the beginning of Buttons as you slide that snake charm into the wall.
Oh.
So basically, before the songs are announced, Robin's going to mix this shit up. She's going to assign 2 team captains, and they're going to pick their own teams. Mm-hmm. So she picks Chelsea, because she says that Chelsea needs to step it up.
She's a step up and lead.
Step up and lead.
And it's a real surprise to Chelsea Bangs.
Yeah, she's
like, oh. And then the other team captain Robin is picking is Asia. Asia just doesn't want to do it. Yeah. Doesn't want to be a leader.
Yeah,
doesn't
like,
want to be a captain. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, she's really 18-year-old in her reactions, isn't she? She's like, oh, not me. Robin says it's because she wants to see her open up more and not be afraid to express herself.
Huh?
I think she's truly confident and quite like, you could really see who she is when she's performing, but okay, she had to say something.
I feel like in this show, if you were Robin or one of the real PCDs or Mikey, you could just put any words together and say it to the girls. It'd be like,
completely.
this week, we want to see whose light shines the brightest when they step their toe on the floor. And then there'd just be a shot of all the contestants nodding, going, God, that's important. It's all about, choreography and light.
Yeah, this week's theme is flair. Each girl brings a particular flair to the Pussycat Dolls, so we need to dig deep and find your own individual flair.
Be like, Fraser, I'm not believing that flair. I know.
But what is that? No, don't question it.
Someone brings in an actual flare and lights it and just sets the
Wearing a pair of flares.
I like what you did there. That's really clever. The flare, that's interesting. You did that. That shows intuition.
Oh god, intuition's a great theme for the week. I love it. So Asia picks Melissa R, Melissa S, and Sisely.
Well, she doesn't really pick Sisely, does she?
She gets lumped with Sisely.
Yeah.
But I was a little concerned for you because it meant that one group had both of the Melissas in it, and I was really concerned for you in that.
And then Chelsea's group, she picks Anastasia, and then someone she calls Mary.
Yes.
Mariella.
Mariella. And now I can't look at Anastasia now without thinking of Anastasia's sons. I know that's just the way it goes, and it ain't right. I love the beginning of that song. What day in your life?
Wait, I bet Laura York loves Anastasia.
Oh, please. Of course she had that first album. I'm out of love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, I did a real, like... Could you see what I did with my mouth there? It was like a horse eating, like, peanut butter. Yeah, yeah. Anyway.
So Chelsea's group, they're given a... Oh, well, they're both given a disco song.
Yeah,
which
Disco Week.
they're very excited about that.
Yeah,
They're-
that reaction shot was suspect to me.
Yeah.
Especially when they announced the songs. I was like, these girls don't know these songs.
Yeah. So Chelsea's group, they've got a song called
Shame. Do-do-do-do. Scabba-do. Have you never heard this song before?
I don't think maybe. It feels like I've got the best of disco double disc CD, and this is on the second disc somewhere near the bottom.
Yeah, like track 19.
Yeah.
Shame. Yeah. And then... What song has Asia's team got? Oh, baby! My heart is full of love and desire for you! Now,
Don't leave me this way.
now, I have to tell you, I fucking love this song.
So those are the two songs, and both groups have 3 days to get these songs together. 3 days in my head is quite a long time.
Yeah.
Budgets these days, shave a day off.
Exactly. Yeah, because the kind of mini challenge of this week is not enough to justify. They don't even have to go anywhere.
I know.
Anyway, so we drop in on shame, and at this point they're kind of just deciding who's doing what, and they say, "Oh, Mariella, you can take the bridge," and she simply says, "What's the bridge?"
Fair.
Oh, Mary.
So this group, they are one person less than the
Yeah.
other group.
Oh, so you kind of hear from Mariella and Anastasia, left outside alone, and they're kind of worrying about Chelsea's ability to lead the group, because they're kind of like, oh, she's not really stepped up. But then they almost debunk that straight away, because the vocal coach leaves and Chelsea kind of takes over. He's like, oh, I'll leave you to it. And Chelsea kind of takes over, and she's kind of very like, vocals are Chelsea's thing.
Yeah.
It's not like she's leading a choreography session.
Vocals and bangs, those are her things. But also, they're one girl less than the other group.
Yeah.
They're like, so we need to give like extra oomph and power to like make up for that lacking member.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the other group, oh, baby.
Asia!
So Asia is the group leader. She's yawning here. Now, she says she's scared of being a leader and being seen as a mean girl. There's like backstory and stuff going on here, isn't there?
Yeah, and there's also like an extra layer of like that thing of reality TV at the time, and they used to get this a lot on Top Model, which was there was often the narrative of the black contestant being angry and aggressive and being like very combative. And I do feel like, even though it's not said there, I think that's the subtext of the whole thing of what Asia's saying. So she doesn't want to come in and be like the aggressive black girl and have like fights with everyone.
Yeah.
But we don't really get the full story at this point. She's just kind of saying she doesn't want to do it. And she is, I will say in this point, she is acting a little bit bratty. She's like yawning and kind of being like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
She's only 18.
But meanwhile, Sisely's being wisely quiet. I was like, I'm surprised that she didn't pipe up here, but no, she's taking a back seat.
Well, the Pussycat Dolls bus did come to run Asia over at this point, because that metaphor will make sense in a second. Basically, Eric, the vocal coach, asks the group, oh, is Asia a good leader? And there's silence, nothing happens. Melissa S. pipes up and says, well, she hasn't really shown any leadership yet because she's been sleeping. And that's the sound was Melissa throwing Asia under the bus.
Got
Get
it.
it? Under the pussy bus.
Got it.
And it's when you honk the horn, it just goes, don't ya?
Wait, does it just permanently play as it goes to the streets like an ice cream van? Does it have a siren that just plays the opening of buttons? We're going back to the loft now.
So yeah, we kind of head back for lunch.
Is it lunch?
It looked like lunch, maybe lunch or dinner. I saw lots of salads. Where do you think they got those salads from?
We've got a takeout, and everyone's just sort of picking at their takeout boxes
Yeah.
with plastic forks.
Where did you think that was from? Because obviously it's 2000 and something, and I only really know eateries of now.
I know the equivalent now would be a Sweet Green.
Yeah, Mendocino Farms.
Was that around
I'm
then?
not sure. Feels like that.
Tender Greens.
Yeah.
Maybe a Tender Greens.
No, Tender Greens is too high end. I feel like we're.
Tender Greens is not high end.
No, but for this, I'm thinking we're at lowest of the low.
Do you know what? It could be a
Simply
great
salad.
It could be a great little local salad store. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little hole in the wall in Thai town.
So there's only one. It's good though. So yeah, they're just picking away at their salads. And part the way through the conversation, Sisely, she pipes up and she says that Ahhhhhhhhhh dances like a drag queen.
Yeah.
And then the other two are sort of laughing and giggling, and then it gets to real mean girl territory.
Yeah.
It starts to feel like Jade Goody and Joe and Danielle Lloyd on
What a reference.
Big Brother. Do you know what I mean? It just has that kind of giggly, like, oh.
Yeah. They're all being very kind of like faux before that. Like Melissa S is like, she's like, oh, I'm just like the girl next door. That's why I can't dance like that. And the girls that's because the girls are complimenting Ahhhhhhhhhh on being a very like flowy dancer. Now, I don't remember looking at the outfits on this, but I call shenanigans and trickery on this clip. I think this clip was around the time of the sexy challenge later.
Oh, okay.
It feels like a conversation more pertinent to that than just like what songs you've been given for that week. So
Fair.
I'm just calling out those producers and editors in the streets for that one.
It is very noticeable in this show, and you wouldn't get this on UK TV at the time, but a lot of frankenbiting.
Yes.
A lot of like, well, I think Asia, she doesn't dance well. Like,
Yeah.
just a lot of
Yes.
like slamming things together.
100%. I feel like Robin gets the most frankenbited. She'll be like in front of the camera, she'll be like in shot, and she'll like, this week, girls, I need you to test your creativity and spirit in the challenge. And I think there was a lot of ADR with Robin in the booth after.
Yeah.
So we come back to Don't Leave Me This Way.
Baby.
Performing badly. So they're doing a pretty weak performance, kind of a vocal run through for Robin, and it's not good.
It's very wet lettuce, isn't it?
It's incredibly, yeah. That lettuce from lunch is very wet, and it's very like wah wah wah. Then at this point, kind of, Robin's kind of asking what's going on. Now I don't know on your copy of the episode. I had a glitch in the Matrix at this moment.
Me too.
I entered another dimension where Asia was talking, but all I could see was the Matrix breaking down. So this felt like a very important moment because the Matrix actually broke for it, you know? And we finally saw into those goo-filled pods.
Did you get the red pill or the blue pill? I took the pink pill.
Oh, honey.
Pussycat
Doll pill. So, but I think what she's saying is she's saying that she doesn't want to perform with someone that she doesn't like, and she actually brings it all out and airs it in front of Robin. And
This is Asia.
Yeah, she actually just calls Sisely out and says she said something that I didn't like. I was
But then Sisely says, life isn't Nietzsche. And I was like, what?
like the philosopher.
I don't even know that philosopher.
Yeah, it's spelled like Nietzsche.
Oh.
Yeah, but are you sure? Or did she say peachy?
Oh, maybe she said
I don't think she said Nietzsche like
Got it.
Life is an old Socrates, Asia.
Though, hey, Sisely,
Well, she's old.
she's the oldest in the group at 24 from Long Beach.
Yeah, she
She's
was around. She was around at the time of Nietzsche.
She's read a book, okay?
And I did write at this point, Mikey and Robin are eating it up because I think Asia very kind of like solemnly says, well, you know, she said I danced like a drag queen, and Mikey and Robin are like, woohoo! It's like, well, you're basically talking to two drag queens there, sister, so they're not going to think that's offensive.
And Robin comes back to it later. We'll get
does.
to that. Meanwhile, the group of three are on it.
Shame!
And Robin's reactions are just nice. Yes. Aha.
Yeah, she basically goes, I got no notes for you. And I didn't really either. I just wrote Chelsea's wearing a bandana. And then I did say I was worried they were getting the Drag Race confident edit because it's very like, you know, the kind of like rehearsal went great.
Yeah.
We're going to win. I was like, oh, go.
Yeah, well, it goes up and down in this episode.
Yeah, this
doesn't
episode's
it?
all over the place.
So we need to go back to the loft because Asia, she needs to have a heart-to-heart with her group, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
I called it a sister circle.
Oh.
I did note in this moment that Sisely is back wearing her sexy Freddy Kruger top that she wore for last week's performance.
So Asia, essentially, her issue, she fears drama and conflict, and she reveals that she's been to court for fighting. So she just doesn't want to get into all of that. Absolutely fair enough, okay? Meanwhile, they're all seated around what I would describe as a pink glass table. I don't know if you noticed this.
I didn't.
Pink glass table. There are objects in that table I couldn't quite make out. One looks like a pink, glittery, bedazzled label maker.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if they just need to, like, you know, well, I mean, you don't want to lose your Freddy Kruger top. Let's put a label on that.
I was just thinking about trying to sleep, and like closing my eyes, and Sisely like busting through my walls singing that bit from last week. Your love is like a tidal wave and over my head. Just being kept awake night after night of Sisely busting through different walls and surfaces doing that.
So Asia she's being vulnerable with the others here.
Yeah.
And yet Sisely then gets upset. This editing here I got very confused by.
Yeah, she basically says, well, because Asia talks about how the fighting happened in high school, and Sisely kind of comes back and says, well, we're not in high school anymore, yada yada. I think what happens here, because then we kind of cut to Sisely crying afterwards, and she just keeps saying, I feel dumb, I feel dumbed down, I feel so dumb. I think she's embarrassed that she got caught out saying something mean, and then got embarrassed that... I think she just felt super embarrassed that she'd said it, and also that it had all turned into supporting Asia. I think she was like embarrassed by letting that happen to her.
Right.
And it was just coming out as, oh, I look so dumb, I look so dumb.
The drag queen comment.
Yeah. I think she's regretting it.
And here they're also clearly trying to play into the idea that Sisely doesn't fit in. She's different to the rest.
I mean, now listen, I'm not really on Team Sisely this week, but good God, I mean, of course she doesn't fit in. I mean, they say as much later, but anyway, we'll get to that.
Okay, shall we get back to rehearsals?
Yeah, so we're going to be back at Asia. She's getting it together this time.
The group now has much more energy.
So the boas are back. Did you notice how many feathers were scattered on the floor during this rehearsal?
Are they just shedding?
So much shedded feather boa. Because you know those boas, as we said, 3 feathers stuck to a piece of fabric from Michael's.
I don't know. Those are thick boas.
You think in Michael's they were described as plush?
Deluxe.
Deluxe plush feather boas.
I'm looking for a set of 10 deluxe hot pink plush feather boas.
Oh, they have like 20 of those bad boys. You know those things that are plucked like a Christmas turkey, like every week. They're like, oh God, we need another boa out of the box. So yeah, they're doing kind of boaography. I just wrote Asia's back in charge, and she's kind of sorry, I've written a note that I don't understand. Melissa S on a space share. Oh, Melissa S is on a space chair. It looked like she was the captain of the Enterprise, but like the Pussycat Dolls Enterprise. Yes. I don't even know what she was saying. I just got so, I couldn't even spell chair. I was so excited.
Meanwhile, Sisely, she's struggling.
Yeah, she gets told she needs to give more.
It's like, so last night in the loft, Asia's heart to heart, that helped her get it off her chest. She's doing well the next day. Sisely, she's on like a downhill trajectory. Yeah. So
now we're on to the challenge. So at this point, we see Robin rushing around the loft, swishing curtains out of the way and saying, I need you downstairs in 15 minutes and dress sexy.
And one of the girls is just standing there, like, in a kind of athletic vest, kind of like, girl, what am I gonna wear? Okay. So, downstairs. So, is this...
the dance studio is in the same building as the... Oh, yeah, you didn't see the episode they moved into the Pussycat Dolls loft, did you?
No.
Yeah, so the dance studio and the piano thing, that's all the same room, and that's in the building.
Oh, in terms of location releases, This is a dream.
And also, adding into your theory, how did this have 3 days? They're literally having to just go up and downstairs to have lunch and stuff. Yeah. No transport time.
Yeah. Well, parking around there in the Sunset Strip is a nightmare, so that does make sense.
Fair enough.
Okay, so the girls trot downstairs.
Yep. Mikey's wearing a striped overall.
Striped overall, and does he have like a bejeweled crucifix or something?
I think it's an M for Mikey.
Oh, cool. Maybe got it from Jacob the Jeweler. Don't know.
It's Jacob the Jeweler.
Yeah, remember in the early 2000s, Jacob the Jeweler was always like referenced in rap songs, and he was like the jeweler that everyone went to. And like in episodes of Cribs, it'd be like Nelly showing, I don't know, like...
That's so weird you said that. Nelly was the person I had in my head. Seriously, yeah.
Didn't he have like a big, like a bejeweled Nelly that went around his neck?
It's so funny his name was Nelly.
Nelly!
Like Nelly the elephant. Anyway.
Oh, okay. So they all trot downstairs. Ashley.
Yeah, we got a double whammy this week. We got Kermit the Frog and Ashley.
Yep. Ashley comes out and she's going to talk to them all about being sexy.
But they've obviously told her to stay on task with creativity. So she says she's here to talk about being creative with a sexy flair. Oh, flair. My theme has come back.
Perfect. Yeah, so at this point, before we got into the challenge, I was like, what's going on? Each have to dance sexy to a song. The sexiest will be immune from elimination. Is that what's going on? Yes, that is exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But an added twist.
Ooh.
The doors of the warehouse studio are thrown open, and in comes some schlumpy men.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Come a group of men in the flappiest clothes you've seen in your good goddamn life. Every piece of fabric flapping in the breeze.
Oh, so they get these random men.
Yeah.
Who are they? Are they dancers? Are they extras? Like, who knows?
Yeah, I get the impression they're dancers, but we're not given that prompt, because you can't just have any old Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street to dance with. They've got to have some movement.
But they weren't dressed like dancers. That was my issue.
No, they certainly weren't.
I needed a sweatband.
Yeah.
You know, just to like signify dance.
Yeah, so they kind of they're all paired off with the girl. We don't get to see that part of the process.
Yes. So just to clarify, each contestant has to dance sexy to a song with the aid of a schlumpy man.
Yeah. So
And they have an hour, not 3 days. They've got an hour.
So they all kind of break out to do their routines, and we just get a little bit of, Melissa says that she struggles to be sexy. I said I disagree. She was wearing jeans and a bra and was being pretty sexy from what I saw.
Oh yeah, she's wearing classic 2000s. I'm gonna be a pop star wear. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Did look a little bit like she genuinely was getting dressed and forgot to put a top on, because it was just like very nice jeans, but like a pair of nice jeans and just a bedazzled bra.
she looked great.
Yeah. And then Mariella is definitely attracted to her guy. I wrote, you better work, Mariella. Her guy was hot.
She's having fun.
She is.
She's having such a good time.
And she's the most trained dancer. And then I just wrote the note, is Chelsea doing a handstand?
I think we get to that. Oh, well, no, we do get to that. Okay, so then 2 by 2 in their couples, they perform for the group with some library music.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I was like, oh, it was clearly a song that was not a Pussycat Dolls song, and that they didn't obviously get cleared, because everyone was definitely doing very sexy kind of routine stuff. But yeah, it was real, just like,
Yeah.
it was like transition music from like the Real Housewives of New York or something. Really strange.
Let's just whip through a couple of highlights. So Anastasia, there's a little jump at the end of her
Yeah.
performance.
Her guy's called Sean. I wrote down all their names.
Asia, someone describes her as having a hard New York style hip hop.
She's wearing a top hat and suspenders.
Lovely.
Or braces.
Although Sisely does say here, she still dances like a drag queen.
Yeah, and she does. And like, again, drag queens, she
well,
dances like a good drag queen.
We'll come back to
Yeah.
that. Anything else? Mariella. I mean, she is very smooth and sexy. She's
Yeah.
clearly got like a connection with her guy.
Yeah. Her guy's called Black.
Oh, interesting.
Sure.
Chelsea Bangs does a dance and then appears to do like a forward roll at the end.
Yeah, Chelsea really went for it. Like, she did pretty good considering it.
Oh, she ends with a kiss, doesn't she?
She does, yeah, which they're all very titillated by.
Yeah.
But basically, the winner of the challenge is, quite rightly, Mariella.
100% justified, made total
Yeah,
sense.
and I think it's also justice for last week, because she should have won the recording studio thing last week.
I don't remember, but okay.
You've already forgot. You were there last week.
I know, look, we're still in the early days of me trying to remember who everyone is. There are 2 people called Melissa. Give me a break, okay? So
next day, it's performance day.
performance day.
We see the girls putting up personal pictures at their own little mirror, which I thought was funny. It's like, well, you're there for like a day, you need a picture of your loved ones. I suppose if you're getting sent home, you might need the strength, I guess.
So, sound check.
Yeah, we get a real break from format. We've not seen a sound check yet.
Have we not?
No, this is clearly a little story point.
Yeah.
To try and throw us off the scent again.
Now, to be fair to Robin here, she's really involved in these sound checks. Like, she is there wanting them to do well, helping them out, giving them tips.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so this is where we get our misdirect, another misdirect of the episode. So, shame! They're doing their sound check and they get told they're all flat. And also the choreography is like they've lost all the choreography that they had the day before. So they're all looking quite panicked.
Yeah.
And I think it's because Chelsea and Anastasia, left outside alone, are kind of paranoid that because Mariella has immunity
From winning the sexy
because
challenge.
of winning the sexy challenge, that she's kind of like, if she fucks up, it doesn't really matter. It means the 2 of them are definitely on the chopping block.
Yeah. Then, out trots Mark McGrath. He says to the ladies, "Welcome, ladies," and they all just kind of go, "Hi."
Yeah, real low energy kind of introduction. We get our eyes on what the girls are going to be wearing for the performance, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Each performance, and he introduces Robin, Ron Fair with his real like fun dad energy. Don't you feel like he has like a real fun dad energy? Ron Fair.
I don't think I don't think he feels fun at all.
Oh, see, I think because he's got those glasses and that kind of mean face, he feels like. I feel like he's like a surprise dad, fun dad, where you'd be like, oh god, I've got to see like my friend's dad Ron, and he's like, I think he's got some fun like jabs and little comments that he makes.
But for me, he's trying too hard to play the Simon Cowell role.
Oh.
And then once again, we've got Lil' Kim, and I've just written, why is Lil' Kim here again? Still a great booking.
Yeah, she's wearing a fun purple blouse.
Yeah, still completely unclear how they got her and what her connection is, but I support it.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. Okay, so we start with shame. What's their group look?
Their group look, skinny disco scarves, I've written.
Yep.
And just in general, metallics.
Yeah, metallics. I actually just on the whole loved the way everyone looked in the performances this week. I got like a real early mid 2000s like kick from it. Mm-hmm. So much cheap sparkly fabric. It really made me feel happy. So yeah, they're doing kind of, it's very thin, sparkly little disco scarves and just fun metallic outfits. And I really like the choreography for this. It's very like, it's like do 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 do, and they're just kind of like trotting around. It's very like do 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 do, very skit scat skadoodle around the stage, isn't it? Yeah. It's very fun.
Like sort of like walking over like a panther to one area, then pivot back.
Yeah, the song and the performance was very like fluidy. It was all like, ooh, sexy, ooh, around the club,
and a lot of like walking in one direction, oh, back in another, pivot, oh, back in another. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and I thought they did good. So Mariella sounded pretty bad.
Yeah, she was not great. I just wrote, straight hair Mariella is weak, Chelsea Bang sounds great.
Yeah, and obviously, as always, Anastasia is very loud and has a presence. I'm still not sure if it's good, though.
Yeah.
So they get their critiques, and Robin said that it was hot. And Chelsea gets kind of a lot of praise, actually. Robin says the vocals were great and the dancing was really, really good, especially considering where they've been with her before. And actually, Ron Fair says Anastasia has the sound a recording artist needs because she has a unique voice, much like Anastasia. I know that's just the way it goes, and it ain't right.
So then we have the other group, the group of 4, and they're singing, oh, baby,
we're wearing sparkly mini dresses through the song.
I would use the word spangles. Spangles. They're wearing spangles.
I love their looks. It's very like Hollywood nights, cheap spangle dresses, like fun. It reminded me of, they were wearing cheap versions of, the dress that J-Lo wears in the If You Had My Love video, where she does the yeah. There's the bit where she like kicks her leg up and they zoom in on her bum. Remember that?
Vaguely.
She's wearing it's like a slinky, metallic-y, sparkly mini dress. They're wearing like to use a UK phrase, the market knockoff version of that. They were real cheap market dresses, but I loved them.
Do you think Robin went down Melrose?
Oh, for sure.
To like some little strange shop in Melrose that's been there for years. Robin's been going there forever.
It's called like Spice. I feel like those dresses at the time and still are dresses you could go and buy from like the hotel shop in Vegas.
Oh.
Like the boutique. I feel like if there was like the Caesars boutique, they're like, of course, we always have our sparkly mini dress range because every girl needs that in Vegas.
Yeah, or like a dying mall. There'd be a shop that stocks them.
Very surprise on Tottenham Court Road. Do you remember that shop?
No.
So do you remember the weird end of Tottenham Court Road where you're coming up to like where the We Will Rock You theatre is? Yeah. That end of Oxford Street.
Yes.
Oxford Street, Tottenham Court Road kind of crossover.
Yes.
There's a real collection of weird shops, and me and Charlie are obsessed with this one that was called Surprise, and it sold like basically like slutty clubwear.
Lovely. Wasn't there also a shop in later years up there called Tiger?
Yes. No, that's a chain though.
Oh.
That's the one that sells like tat.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it's kind of a paper chase, but also it sells stuff that a world market would sell in the
it feels
US.
like an IKEA mixed with a paper chase.
Yeah.
Filled with tat.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they're doing their thing. I wrote a lot of boa choreography.
Yeah, Sisely has different hair.
Yeah, they've stapled a few kind of tendrils onto that head.
It's like the Dido hair is growing out this week. Are those the boxes from last week?
I think so. I think they've been repurposed.
Yeah.
So this is a box and boa version of the routine.
Got it.
Melissa R drops her boa during the routine. That was very stressful. There was a really, really tough edit on Sisely where she was up against the pole singing her little bit of the song, and they did a cutaway to the audience looking completely blank-faced, which I know for a fact was the audience like just sitting waiting for the performance to start.
She was doing a sort of like a sad disco, like
She was.
Don't leave me this way.
I didn't mind what she was doing.
Me neither.
It was good.
Kind of like sad on the pole.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I thought it was kind of cool in like that like the dying days of disco kind of way.
And we also had Melissa S. Melissa S. She was being so cutesy. It was like,
she put her finger in her mouth at one point.
Leave me this way.
She literally did like sexy talk. She's like, who me? Goo gaga.
She reminds me of back in the day, Stacey the bartender.
Yeah.
Very like, I can't talk like you.
Leave me this away.
Sugar and spice.
I'm just a little baby singing. Don't leave me this way.
Yeah. But Asia, she's pretty good.
Asia is she's got a solid mix of everything so far.
Yeah. So
should we get to the critiques? So the judges, they speak to the judges afterwards. They're disgusted that Melissa R dropped her boa.
Yes.
Ron thinks that they're all too young to get the song. I think Sisely was the only one that really encapsulated the sadness of that song.
sorry, none of them were around Ron for the disco era in the 1970s.
I think he means that
bearing in mind Asia's 18.
No, he means they don't have enough life experience to understand the pain of the song, is what he means.
What does he want them to do? They're 18. Well, not Sisely, but they're 18.
Yeah, exactly. Grandma Sisely, she's just heartbroken. She's 24.
That's why she sang it sad.
Exactly.
Got it.
And they say Asia's a star, and they cut to Sisely rolling her eyes at that point. Uh-oh. And then, there's two bits of feedback that Sisely gets here that really annoyed me. And I actually don't really like her behavior this episode, but I'm going to defend her on this. They say, oh, Sisely, your vocal was different, but it just didn't really work. No, they're like, oh, Sisely, you have a really different vocal, but it just didn't really work in this piece. And I'm like, yeah. Yet again, it's a song that doesn't work for her. Now, again, I'm flip-flopping all over during this defense of her. She had a rock song last week and was bad, so that doesn't go in her favor. And then at one point, Ron Fair says, it was kind of just like, oh, what's Debbie Harry doing in this group? And it's like, yeah, that's not her fault. That's your fault.
But also, you were saying earlier that you liked her performance here.
Yeah, I did. No, I'm saying... What I'm saying here is the judges' critiques of her are like, oh, you're so different. Like, why are you in this group? And it's like, because you put her there.
Yeah. And it's
like, not fair.
She's the same person that she was last week.
Completely. It's not fair. Like, she was way better than she was last week. I don't think she should have got the negative stuff. I get it. They want to get rid of her.
Although, also, I mean, she does have an issue because she does think that her hair and shoes are distracting her. Direct quote from Sisely.
To be fair, they are real high little thin stilettos, and I'd be distracted if I had like some strands of like a mop kind of flipping around in my face.
If you'd gone from like, I don't know, 6-inch hair to suddenly like Goldilocks tendrils, would be distracting.
I actually did note that truly at this point it does look like someone took a mop head and stuck it onto Sisely's head. There's like thick mop at the top, and then those long bits of like when you have a really cheap mop that kind of gets very strandy. She had those coming down, so she was real mop head. So now we're backstage where their girls are being interviewed. Did you notice in the background someone was greasing Sisely's legs in this scene?
No.
There was like a makeup person. Whoever was being interviewed, I didn't even hear what they said, because in the background, someone from makeup was just greasing Sisely's legs.
So now the girls are backstage. The judges are having another chin wag amongst themselves. And Robin says that Sisely thinks that Asia dances like a drag queen. And then Robin quite rightly says, drag queens are hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Glad we're doing this in 2007, Robin.
Yeah.
You get it.
And then, so at this point, the girls all come back on stage, and it is announced that Mariella is obviously safe, and that means the top group is also going to be Shame. So Chelsea and Anastasia, left outside alone. Oh my god, so many things. They are all safe, and they go and kind of stand at the side of the stage. Then it is announced that Melissa R and Asia are safe, which leaves us with Melissa S and Sisely as the bottom two.
So they get a bit more of a critique here. Essentially, they're saying to Sisely, you're too individual. That was the crux of their critique. And then for Melissa S, Robin says, sexiness comes from within, and I'm just not sure if you're there yet. Imagine getting that critique. You'd be like,
How does one get there?
Okay.
If it's not within, how does one arrive at that destination,
Yes,
Robin?
Yes.
But ultimately, we are saying goodbye to the rocky mop head herself, Sisely.
Yeah.
She is gone.
She's very gracious in her
is.
departure.
She takes those greased up legs off stage.
Yeah. Well, my one thing with this is that clearly next week or the week after, Melissa S is going to be going. So I watched this elimination being like, well, they're both just going to go at some point. So, oh, you're giving me a look.
I don't remember anything that happens.
See, I don't think I properly watched this last time. Oh, I'm setting myself up for a bit of fun here, aren't we? Also, during this period, we have a bit of Spanish guitar library music playing as Sisely departs.
Yeah, and I do like in her kind of exit interview, Sisely goes, I just didn't really sing very well, and I don't think I did that good. And it's like, okay, fair enough.
So I did a quick Google of Sisely, being like, where is she now?
Oh, yeah.
Sisely Treasure. You want to know where she is?
Excuse me, Sisely Treasure.
Sisely Treasure. So it looks like she was in some sort of like punky rock group before this show.
That's correct.
Makes total sense. And then after the show, she joined another group named Sisely and the Safety Pinups.
Oh, that's fun.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Was Robin behind that? Feels like it's got her sticky little fingers on it.
They released a cover of Do the Robot, which was voted coolest garage song by Garage Rock.
Oh, yeah. Like garage rock in the US is something different.
Oh,
That's literally bands playing
music.
in their garage in the US as
got
opposed to
it.
I Bring You Flowers in the Pouring Rain.
I got very confused there. And then it looks like for a couple of years she was in a band called Shiny Toy Guns. And then she had a solo career. And that is pretty much it. But looks like she, rocked around.
Good for her. I wonder if she's back in Long Beach.
Might be. She's 38 now. Wait, is that your age? No, you're 37.
I'm 37. How fucking dare you?
All I remember is that you're older than me, and after that, I don't remember anything
So thank you for being here this week, everybody.
Well, next week,
joining us.
what is going to be going on? We got a little taster, didn't we?
We did. Well, so my episode cut off. I didn't get the full preview, but the episode says that they're going on a road trip to Vegas because Robin's booked them a show. So we see them kind of on a party bus being like, yeah, party bus. And then, what else do we see?
There's a very uncomfortable thing where they're all sitting there eating food, and there's lots of shots of Anastasia eating dessert, and one of the girls is saying, I don't get it, because Anastasia wants to watch her figure, but she's eating dessert, and it's like, oh god, this is horrible territory. Then we seem to have Asia play wrestling the other girls, but they're playing that music as if to say they're fighting, but no, they're just...
Yeah, you could literally see them smiling.
Yeah,
and
like laughing.
My episode cut off so quickly that it was literally mid-fight. We didn't even see, it didn't even fade to black. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, well, that's going to be next week. You do have an episode of You're Welcome America coming very soon. Those come every other week. But like I say, we've got weekly episodes of UWA Presents this show.
Oh, yeah.
Do get in touch on Instagram and all the usual socials, Twitter, email. Give us a shout.
Yeah.
If you're Pia Mia, what's going on?
Should we just leave it on that?
Yeah.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.